Hello, I'm Infinite Crow and welcome to episode 3 of this Create Astral series, where we'll be getting into some more Create, making a couple of tree farms and getting into some Tinker's Construct. Between episodes I've done a little bit of mining again, not much. I mean, I've gained 20 iron, it's really not that much, but hopefully that's enough to get started today. It's also given time for our clay, iron and andesite to run. I'm up to just over 104 clay, 270 iron. The clay's the slow one, being that it's such a 25% chance. I've also made a change for the andesite, where I've added this clutch instead of the shaft. The andesite storage unit actually got full, so we've got over here 32 double compressed andesite, which is a lot of andesite, which is over a whole normal storage unit. Now, all the clutch does is, if it receives a redstone signal, you can see the drills running. So if I flick the lever, it just turns off. At the moment, don't need the andesite, so I'm going to leave that clutch switched off, rather than build up another whole storage of andesite. But to get started with Tinkers and tree farms, let's have a look at our quests. So we've got to finish making this grate at the top. If we look at the recipe, it's going to take andesite, alloy, zinc and gravel in a mixer, so we're going to have to set up a mixer to make this. And we need 32. But we don't have the andesite alloy, so let's grab and let's let's grab 3 stacks of that. We don't have the clay, but we do have the iron. Luckily, we've still got some of the clay that I dug up, so we can use that. That's going to give us a stack of them. Do we have any coal? Yes. While that's smelting, what was the other one? Zinc. I think we've got plenty of zinc. Yes, we do. So we see. So to make 32, we need. We need 4 zinc. Let's actually make a full stack though, which means we're going to need a stack of gravel. Which I think my gravel's over here, so give me a stack of that. We're almost there on that, so we need to set up our mixer. I think we've actually got one from last episode. Yep, we've got a basin and a mixer. Now we've got our windmill power outside, but we don't have any way to really connect to it. So I think I'm going to bout off and bring in some more power. So let me work that out and I'll be back with you. So to do this, I'm going to grab a gearbox, which I hope we've got some. Yep, we do. Some shafts and our belts. Going to convert this into a vertical gearbox, and I actually need to grab our small cogs. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to take out that block and put our vertical gearbox right here, facing with the shaft facing us so we can power it from outside. I'm then just going to place a shaft, our small gear, the basin and mixer. It's just a small temporary setup just to make the grout. But I notice it's getting dark, so let me sleep and we'll go power this up. The easy way to power this is going to be add a couple of shafts. And then using a belt, just connect that shaft to that one. And there we go. as I run past, I'm going to harvest this. Oh, that's not ready. Let's check this one. I'll go in our food chest. Should definitely have enough andesite alloy now. So we need 8 of that. Let's put our blocks away. Then in here we need to drop our andesite alloy, zinc and that gravel. I'll just wait a while and that will mix up the grout, which will complete that quest. And we can just right click to get that out, and there we go. Our grout is done, which is nice because it gives us casings, gives lots of lovely create stuff. And I don't really want to sniff it. For the rest of, I'll actually keep that out at the moment. We're going to need it all. I'll grab the depots. I'm going to grab our hoppers, our mill, chutes, funnels, press, the other mixer. Actually we don't need the other mixer. I think that's everything we need. Let's grab the barrels too. So if we look at our quests now, it's unlocked, getting industrial. So this is all about creating the andesite world, creating more resources. I'm not going to read through all that right now. Let's just tick and grab the XP. So if we start looking at the next steps, we're going to need a lot more sap. Now we can just go around manually clicking taps on trees, which we may need to do to begin with. As it says, we can right click sap and it will regenerate. Now we can actually use deployers with taps if we want. The other option though, if we just mill a rubber log, we get sap and a 25% chance of more sap. So that's the way gonna do it. And we're gonna create a tree farm that farms rubber logs. That will also give us the rubber to get into more of the create stuff. We're also going to need probably more seared brick. Now that's just smelting the grout. But if we look at the next step, which is the seared melter, we're going to need seared bricks, which requires the mixer, more sap. It's also, not that one, that one. It's also going to require a fluid tank, which is going to require copper sheet. So the first bit I think we need to do is set up a decent mixer, another millstone that we can mill rubber logs with, and some way to make copper sheets. So this mixer that we just created, I'm going to actually just tear down. The reason being, the first bit going here is going to be a barrel and another barrel. I'm going to add the millstone in the middle. You can do this with just shoots as it's straight down. I'm then going to move the mixer to here. And the reason I wanted to move the mixer is because then I can use a hopper going into the side with a barrel on. And can then place another barrel here. And I notice, oh, we do. And then I'm going to take out the piece of floor, put a depot in the floor, and that automatically puts a spout. So any finished recipe will get put on the depot. And then we can use an andesite funnel, which we shift right click on. and that will pick the completed recipe and put into that barrel. We then need to make a press, and we can power this down here. So I'm going to add another barrel, add an andesite funnel, just right click that on because we're going to want that taken out. I'm then going to grab my shafts and my belt. Shaft's going to go there to, I think, there, and add a belt. I'm deliberately making this much longer than we need, as some recipes require multiple presses or deployers and press, and to begin with this will allow us to just manually create those. So let's put that there. Take our last andesite funnel and shift right click for an input. Now we need to get power from probably this cog over to the press. So I think the easiest way to do this will be if I just put the press on here, shift click, and it will put it at the right height. But we need that shaft going the other way. Have we actually got the quest from making the wrench? Ah, here it is. Oh, but we need gold sheet, which we can't do yet. So, okay. Let's just break this. I hop on the belt and then shift click. It should, yep, there you go. Place it the other way. So I'm going to grab our gearboxes. Let's make some vertical. I'm not sure which we need, so that's going to be a vertical box. Then, they're all vertical. And then we can just link those two with shafts. And then we have the ability to make more mixing rubber. We can make our sap, just manually putting it in there and letting it run through, and we can make some press. If I grab some of our copper, I just realised our belt's not powered. Okay, let's break that block outside. And run around here. I think the easiest way is going to be break that block. Give us our shaft and belt. Shaft, and just link those two together if I don't click the grass. There we go. Yep, and our belt's now moving in the right direction. Now if we put our copper ingots in here, should stop, get pressed, and it'll just go into the barrel at the end. Nice. Now we've got this set up, if we look at our quests again, we're going to need to get into sap, which is going to be making our rubber. So we've got all the things to semi-automate this, so we just need the tree farm to get the rubber wood. And while we build that, I'm actually going to make a normal tree farm, because we don't have a great deal of just normal oak logs. And we can also use that tree farm for a production of charcoal, because we're forever running out of coal. But while we set up for the tree farm, I'm going to grab the rest of this and smelt our grout. I've crafted a lot of the things that we need for the tree farm. But let me make sure we've got enough create resources, and we'll come back to you when I'm ready to build the tree farm. So I've spent some time gathering what we need for this project. Most of this is what you've seen me craft before, so I've made a lot of this off camera, just like the funnels, chutes, water wheels, make sure we've got plenty of gearboxes, belts. There's a few things I want to go through though. We are going to actually need the wrench, so I did some mining to make sure I got some gold. So the first thing we're going to do is make that. We're also going to need to make a couple of mechanical bearings. These are important. They've got slime on the top, but unlike sticky pistons, they don't actually take slime. Now I'm going to make a tree farm for rubber and one for oak, so we're going to need 2 of these. We're also going to need slime. Now I'm looking at sky slime because I found these sky slime crystals. These you find in like, they look a bit like geodes underground. Now if we look at this, so I can just blast the recipe. But we can actually do bulk blasting. So I think what I'm going to do, save making a blasting furnace, is we've got a fan set up over here. It's currently washing clay. But if I grab a bucket and lava, I can use it to quickly blast my slime. So I'm going to run off and grab some lava and get that done. Now that's melted to slime, we can get on with the last couple of bits, which is we're going to need 6 mechanical saws. That's just iron plates and casings, so they're pretty easy to make. So that's the 6 of those. That completes a quest. We're also going to need 4 portable interfaces. The portable interface, you can hold ponder, but it allows you to transfer items between a contraption that's moving and a chest or any storage that you want. Now the last thing we're going to actually need, is radial chassis. I need 6 planks for this. Grab 6 of those. It's exactly the number we need. And the final one is 6 deployers. Now these are made slightly different. We need rubber hands. Again, we need 6 of these, so I've got the right number of items on me. The one tricky bit for this is the polished rose quartz. If we look at the recipe for that, we need rose quartz, which we apply sandpaper to. Now rose quartz takes nether quartz, which we don't have on account of not having gone to the nether, and this pack actually not having any nether. It's the moon. But we can actually get nether quartz, if we look at it, from crushing diorite. So it's only a 25% chance, but that's enough. So I'm going to put 16 diorite into our mill, give that time to run through, and that should give us a few pieces of quartz. I'm going to grab some redstone, and I need to clear out some of my inventory. While the diorite's crushing, we need to make some sandpaper, so that's pretty easy. That's just some sugarcane crafted into paper and crafted with some sand. The sandpaper gives us sandpaper. We can then craft the quartz with the redstone. And the easy way to do this is put the sandpaper in your offhand. The easy way is just press F on it. And then with the rose quartz, just hold right click. And we've got 3, but we need to make the final 3 more. And then I think we'll have everything we need to make the tree farms. So that's the 6 polished rose quartz made, which we can now make the final deployers. Why did that only make 4? Oh, am I out of andesite casings? Yes. So let's make 3 more of these. So I'm going to want some for my belt. Let's make the last 2 of these. And there we go. Now I think that is everything we need. So let's come outside. I've cleared this area of grass, which is where I'm just going to build the 2 tree farms. Now I'm going to power each one with a water wheel. So let me just dig out the space that we need. Now a small tip for when you're placing water wheels horizontally like this. That's not how we do it. Like so, is you want the block in the corner. That will actually give you the full 320 stress units. Now this is actually spinning way too fast, so I'm going to grab a block of that dirt. And let's put it there. That nicely slows down. Because this will be the speed that the tree farm spins at. So then we get the mechanical bearing and just click that on top of the wheel. Now the deployers we'll be using to replant the saplings, so they need to go on the 3rd block up, which is why I made 6 of these, so we can go 1, 2, 3. It's worth at this point, if we look at the bearing, like the windmill bearing, you right click to activate it. So we can right click and it spins. Now we can see the water wheel so we know which way it spins, because that will be important for placing the sawmills. So let's place a piece of dirt. With our slime ball, if we right click on the radial chassis, we can glue that side. Now you can do that with just the glue, but if you do that, it uses durability the glue, where if you just use a straight slime ball, it doesn't. Now with our saws, place 1, 2, and 3. And then this is why we needed the wrench. If we hold the wrench and hover over, you can see that it does 8 blocks. The problem is if we have any blocks that are out here that we don't want to be picked up, they'll be picked up. So hovering over 8 and just scroll on your mouse. Make that 3, so I will only ever move those saws. Now there is an order to make this, so the saw will cut the tree. So the next thing we want to do is plant the tree, or plant the refresh saplings. So that will go on this side again. Click the slime ball on the top, and then place 3 deployers out. And again with a wrench, scroll that down to 3. We actually need the saplings. I'll make that one the rubber tree farm. So let me grab my rubber saplings. With the rubber saplings, if we look up at the deployers, there's a filter and we can just click the saplings straight into these. That means that nothing will ever go in the deployer apart from saplings, which is what we want to replant the trees. The final thing we'll need to do after we've replanted the saplings will be to empty all the wood again. So we'll slime that side again. Grab the barrels. As this is a contraption that cuts trees, we need some storage on it. I'm going to place 2 barrels, which is way too much. Storage, we don't need that much. But it just means that where has it gone? The storage interface is 3 out. Now the problem is we need to shift click it and that points it the wrong way. So again, break out the wrench and just right click until it spins around. Yeah. I'm going to have the output be this side. So if I click 2 storage interfaces and break this one. The storage interface needs an air block. So when this rotates, it will be in place of this deployer, an air block, and that will join. Now the storage interface doesn't it transmits items, but it doesn't have any storage, so we need somewhere to put it. For the rubber, because we don't need a great deal, I'm just going to put a copper chest and a chute. And that is good enough. Actually, I'm going to break this portable storage. And then put all the rubber saplings in here. That means it will spin round and plant them all, rather than dump them into that chest. And then fill in the missing dirt. And with an empty hand, right click the bearing and fill in the dirt. And it's planted the trees. So we can put the storage interface back up here. If we watch now, it'll spin around. And it will connect up. There's nothing to transmit, so it will just carry on spinning. But once one of these trees grows, it will cut it down and put the items in here. I'm going to do the same, but with oak trees. I'm not going to make you watch that, but we need to do something different with the storage of items. So let me build the same farm for the oak, and I'll come back. I've now built the exact copy, but this time I've put oak saplings in the filter. And while I've been doing this, the rubber farm has been harvesting. We've already got 41 logs, and it's filled in most of the saplings. So that will give us a nice supply. Oh, there's another one. We just watch, and it'll instantly cut the whole tree down, like so. Before I set the oak sapling off, we're going to do this a bit different. With the rubber, we don't need that much, so just the chest will do. But for the oak, I want to also convert the oak into giving us infinite charcoal. So we're going to need to store it a bit different. Plus, we're going to use a lot of wood for all the create contraptions, as all these casings take a single log. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my shafts and a belt. The portable interface is here, so that's the gap. So it's going to sit here. So I'm going to place about one to the left. And one, I don't know how far, so I'm just going to set it there. And can connect that with a belt. I'm going to then actually dig down again under here. So we're going to need to power this belt. But let's go this way actually. So I want to speed this belt up. So if I grab a gearbox, we're going to need a vertical gearbox, which goes on here. I'm then going to put a shaft on there and a small cog, and then a big cog that goes over there. So that's where I need to place my water wheel. Let's just break out all of this. And of course I don't have any water on me. So water wheel. All I want to check here is that the water... Where's that water wheel go? Actually, let's break this cog. That'll be the easy way to do it. And then place a piece of dirt. And where's that large cog? And the belt's going the right direction, so that's brilliant. I'll put the shaft just so I can cover everything up neatly. And there we go. Now what I want to do is set up these crude storage units. It's going to drop it here. So the first one I'm going to set up is here. Break this bottom one. We're going to, the first one will have to be for oak logs, and you'll see the reason for that in a moment, so I'm going to just lock that. After that, it's less important, but I'm going to go saplings, apples, and sticks. So where's my sapling? I'm going to lock this. Apples, lock, and sticks, and lock. Now I didn't build this belt long enough, so the easy way to extend it is with a belt in your hand. You can just right click the end and it extends. And if you ever need to shorten one, if you right click with a wrench, it will shorten it one, and you don't have to break the whole thing. So let's bring that back out. In each of these, I'm going to have to go into configure and in and set the back to input. So back to input, back to input, and back to input. Going to place an andesite funnel on the back of all of these. So that's shift click every single one. Double checking the arrow points in. Then a chute. We'll go on the belt there. And then on top of this, we'll put the storage interface. But I want, like the rubber trees, I want it to plant all the saplings first. So I'll place that in a moment. Now what we need is another shaft. And this is where we get into making an infinite coal generator. Because I'm going to place a shaft here. I'm going to place one against the chute. But we don't actually need this one, so break that. Then link these with a belt. We need to extend the belt. And is that right? It'll go chest. The block on the floor will be a chest with a thing with a furnace. So I think it needs to go up there. So we're going to put a crude storage unit down. 1, 2, 3, yeah, that's right. So with the crude storage, I'm going to make sure I place this in the right place, which is there. We're going to need a hopper feeding into that. A depot on top of the hopper. Another hopper pointing into the depot. A furnace on top of that hopper. And then I'm going to run up this belt. Another hopper into the top of the furnace. And a storage buffer on top of that hopper. And it's got dark, so I'm going to go sleep. Now it's daytime and it's flashing because of the windmill behind me. We need to shift click a funnel onto the side of the furnace. This will pick charcoal off this depot and put into the furnace. So the plan is that the wood will come out of this storage unit, go up the belt, into the and get smelted, and the charcoal will come out and get picked up, and excess will go down the crude storage unit. So we also need to set up these. So click on here and configure. Oh no, it's in. We need to set the out of this to output to the left side, which is orange, and then just click a funnel on the side. And can I can't get up on the belt anymore. That's fine. I can shift click it up there. With a shaft, we can extend this belt. Now we need this belt to go the opposite direction, so we can just place a cog and a cog. Much like these, we need to set the storage buffer, so configure an in on the right, which should let it in. Now with the wood in there, I'm going to lock this so it only ever accepts oak. But we need to set the output on the bottom, which I think is that side. Yep, which is put the log into the chest, into the furnace. The final step of this whole process is a little bit of redstone, which I don't have on me. So let me go grab that. This is much easier once you can get to brass, because you can use stockpile switches and redstone switches. But all we're going to need is a redstone torch. Actually, we're going to need a few because we're going to need a couple of comparators. So that's 6 torches, 3 stone. I don't think I've got the stone smelted. I don't. Let's quickly grab that. I now ground up some more quartz, so I know I've got that in there. We're going to need 7 torches in total and a dot of redstone, so that's that. We'll do 7 torches. Don't need the sticks anymore. We're going to need 2 pieces of quartz. And we're actually going to need some blocks. I'm just going to use this polished andesite. That's 3 stone, and I've got 4 in here. That means I can make my 2 comparators. The last thing actually going to need is a chest, but I'm not going to use a copper chest. I'm just going to use a regular chest. This is just going to be the comparated items, so it doesn't need to be anything decent. And I'm also going to grab 32 cobble. So the way this is going to work is, let's look at the front actually, it'll probably be easier. As I said, so the wood is going to come from the tree farm, go up the belt and get dropped into the furnace. The furnace will smelt the wood into charcoal as vanilla furnace recipe. It will come out the bottom and the hopper will put it on the depot. Now as it stands here, before the andesite funnel picks it up, the hopper underneath would pick it up and it would go straight into the storage unit. So what we need to do is lock this hopper so it doesn't pick items off the depot. But if we permanently lock this hopper, no items will ever go in the crude storage unit. So we need a way to only lock this hopper by default, but then open it up once we've got a decent storage of charcoal. So if we place a block here with a redstone torch on, that will lock this hopper. And it actually nicely tells you in Whaler or whatever the mod is in this at the top of the screen that the hopper is locked. I can then place 2 blocks there, another block, and 2 more. That's the system for this. The redstone dot goes on top of that block, and it needs to be the actual plus. What we're going to do is place a comparator here, one here, and right click the one that's reading the hopper to put into subtract mode. With our chest, that's going to go on this block here, and 32 cobble go into the chest. This means the comparator outputs a power of 1. And you can put more or less items in here, depending on how much charcoal you want to hold, but I don't want to hold that much. So this comparator outputs 1, a signal strength of 1. So when this hopper has enough items for this comparator output 1, no, because it's 1 minus this one, it subtracts this one, still no strength. It's only when this comparator will get to signal strength 2, which is when the hopper has quite a number of items in, that it will then power the block, which will power the redstone dot and turn this torch off. So we should be able to see this if I 11 in there. It'll smelt the wood, and you can see it's filling up. But if I, oh, actually I need to set this in the input of this. If I put full 34 in there, items will go down into here, and you can't actually see because of the shaders. So 11 charcoal have gone into the chest. The rest of them are going up here, which is what we want. So there will always be some charcoal left to go into the furnace. That's not great because the tree farm's not running. But if we set this tree farm off, there's my dirt. And the last thing we need to do is put this portable storage interface on top of the chute, like so. And we're good to go. The tree farm will farm the oak. We'll get all the drops in here. Now it'll take a while to build up enough oak in this charcoal system before oak starts to sit in this storage unit. But by the fact of smelting is not that fast, we should build that up pretty quick. While I've been explaining that, we have gained what's that? Almost 4.5 stacks of rubber logs, which is nice. These will just continually farm now. Actually, let me grab these rubber. I'm going to grab 3 stacks of that. And that completes another quest. I'm going to drop the rubber in here because we need the sap to get into Tinkers. And I'm just going to put all of this lot away. Now I've sorted out and put all my items away, we can have a look at the quests we've completed. We've made the wrench, that gives us that. We used the water wheels, that's nice. Good for business. I get 100 logs. That gives us loads of saplings, which is nice because I didn't have some of those. Have we got any more? Yeah, we have. We've made some belts, so we get some free belts, and I think that's it. So earlier in this episode, we made the seared bricks, and I want to get into the seared melter. So if we look at that, the seared melter was what, 4 zinc and a fluid tank. That's a barrel and copper plates. I've run some copper plates through our press, so I've got those. Copper plates barrel, and it was zinc, wasn't it? I'm actually going to make, let's say, 4 tanks. Let's have a look at seared. There we go, seared melter. Oh, we don't have the bricks. That is 4 bricks and a piece of sap. Luckily, we've just made some sap. So we need 4 of these. Was it 4? Yeah, 4. So we're going to need 16. That's actually really easy to make. And 1, 2, 3, 4. We can just drop that straight in there. Because we fed this in with a hopper, we just drop it all in the chest. It goes in it. Makes rubber. That's not what we wanted to do. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Not enough seared bricks had gone in. You can actually set a recipe on the front of this, or a filter, so it only makes the right thing. But for the manual stage at the moment, it's good enough. Put the rubber away and the sap away. That means we can make a seared melter. We also need to make a seared heater. We're also going to need faucets and a casting table. Now I'm going to make 2 casting tables. The other one we'll get to in a moment. For this, I'm just going to place here, on top, the table there, and force it off the side. And I realise it's night time. We're going to need some charcoal to power that. And now I actually put all mine over here, so let me grab this. Go away, zombie. No, I didn't want to put my sword in there. Put you and lock you before I take you back out. The first thing we're going to want to do is make 2 ingot casts. So we've made that. That gives us a nice axe, which we don't really want at the moment. What else did he give? Coal and seared brick. Oh, that's nice. It gives 32 coal. That's pretty decent. So here we go. We've made... it wants us to make a basin, so let's make that just to complete the quest. We're not going to be using the basin, so let's just dump that in a chest. Gives us 3 sand casts. Now you can use those, but they're one use only. Now the proper gold ones, which we're going to get into, are permanent. So let's have a look. I've got 1, 2, 3. Now the advantage of melting this way is, if I put that in there, is that 3 raw gold will become 4 ingots. So now to make an ingot cast, we need an ingot, but we can actually use bricks. So let me grab 2 bricks and right click the brick on the casting table, and with a molten gold, just right click the faucet and pour it over the top. It destroys the brick, but it's better than destroying an iron ingot, and that gives us a gold cast. Now I'm going to want 2 of these. That leaves 2 gold, so we can just cast that out into ingots. But it gives us a nice way to get slightly more ore out of our... that does not go in there. It gives us slightly more ingots out of our raw ore, which is nice. But now we've got a tinker's and a fluid tank. What we can do is grab our basin and our mixer, and if we look at the quests here, it gets us into making pipes and pumps. So we need small cogs. We're going to need those copper sheets, and if we go pipe, we need rubber as well. Going to make, let's just go 10 of those. I think a pump is just, yeah, a pipe and a cog, and we're going to need a pump. What we can do is, if we come over to this corner, we're going to break that torch and this cog out the corner. Place the basin in the corner and the mixer, shift click it on there. I'm going to need a hopper, which luckily we've got there. Do I want to put a barrel on the top? Yeah, I'll put a barrel on the top. A barrel on the top. Actually, we're going to need a second hopper for that output. Do I have the... Oh, I've just got enough iron for this. And I need to make a chest. Now we've got that set up, I can grab my pipe and pump. I'm going to put the pipe first, then the pump. Grab our 2 tanks, which just go on top of each other. I'm then going to break the floor here. I'm going to put a barrel in the floor. The hopper into that barrel. And the casting table on the top with the ingot casting, and I'm going to need to break that torch. Oh, and that's where the sand came from. What we can then do is put the seared faucet directly on a create fluid tank, like so. I'm going to need a gearbox. It's going to be a vertical gearbox. I can then place that on here, making sure the output is sticking out this way. Then with a small gear, place it on there. Now you can see the arrow on the pump, that's the way the fluid will flow. If it's ever going the wrong way, you can click it with the create wrench to change that direction, but as luckily it's going in the right direction. What this gives us is, if I grab a stack of andesite, a stack of clay, and a stack of iron nuggets, I can just dump these in here. The mixer will mix them. And we should end up with liquid, what is it? Andesite compound in this fluid tank. And in doing that, I've completed some tasks. So let's get that. That gives us 16 copper. Oh, we needed 4 tanks to complete the quest. That was not the tank recipe. Tank, are they tanks? Yeah, fluid tanks. Oh, it's round a barrel. That completes that recipe. And we actually need a bucket for the alloy production. Just to complete that quest. Does it give us anything? Ah, 16 alloy. There we go. We've got andesite alloy. So the easy way to make a bucket of this is if I take out the cast and you click an empty bucket on, you can then fill the bucket. There we go, and it'll go straight into here. That'll give us that. And there we go. I don't think you can click the bucket on the tank. Nope. But I think you can click it on the basin. Yep. So I'm going to put the ingot cast back, and we click the faucet again, and that should cast out an andesite alloy. Obviously, we don't want to keep clicking that, so what we can do is grab a stick, a piece of cobble. Let's grab 2 pieces of cobble actually. Make a lever. Oh, I'm sure that's how you make a lever, isn't it? Oh, it's on top of each other. Place the cobble above the faucet, put the lever on it, and power, and it'll just keep pouring. So now we've got cheap andesite alloy. Each andesite alloy now only takes 1 nugget, 1 andesite, and 1 clay instead of 3 of each, so that's pretty nice. The final one I want to do is actually grab another couple pieces of cobble, another stick. Why is there the torch on the floor? Because they've washed it away. And I don't think I've got the iron for it actually. I'm going to make it anyway, but I can't do it. Actually, how many nuggets do I have? That's enough. Let me grab a chest. I never seem to have enough chests. And that should give us enough ingots. I don't have barrels on me either. So, there we go. Let's break these 2. Actually, let's break these so I can get access. That goes there. And the hopper in the side. And replace the floor. Means I can now Do the same here. Place cobble block up here. And power. And take, like, say, the 9 tin. That'll give us 12 ingots. Oh, I need to make another hopper, don't I? I'm going to need another barrel too. Oh, I've got the stuff on me for a barrel. So, quickly make 8. That's not how you make a barrel. That's not either. I'll get this right one day. Barrel. Chest. And I don't have the iron. 2, 3. Chest. Ingots gives us the hopper. Can then place the... Oh, no, I need to actually... Oh, let's grab a bucket, actually. I don't want to get lava everywhere. Let's break that. Then put the hopper in. Then going to put the lava back. And lastly, put the barrel on there. That means I can put the rest of the tin in there. And just click this lever. And it will cast out the ingots of tin for us. All of this can go back in here. Let's put my nuggets back in here. Let's just grab a stack of copper. The only problem is doing this is worth noting that when you put it in, you ideally want to put a multiple of 3 because 3 will become 4 ingots. So if you put, say, 4 raw copper in, you'll end up with 3 become 4. Yeah, so 4. You'll end up with just nuggets left over, which is not what you want. So you can put 63 in, but I just like to do 60 at a time. Ah, zombie moan, must be night time. So now we've got this set up, we can actually make some better tools. So I'm actually going to stop it casting ingots. And put the ingot cast in here. Oh, actually, I need it to finish casting those ingots. So while it's doing that, if we look at Tinkers, the next step is to make an anvil. There's lots of ways to do this. If we look up anvil, we can slime steel, amethyst, rose gold, blah blah. But the easiest way is probably bronze. Let me save that. Obviously bronze we can just make in the smithing table. We can do it casting, but I'm just going to do it in the smithing, which is copper and tin. Now that only makes 1 bronze and we need 3 blocks of it. That's 27. I should have enough tin. So I need 27 tin. 27 copper. Just dump that in here. And then make the 3 blocks. What else do we need? We need the tinker station, which we have over here. And I think this is just scorched stone. Ooh, how do we make scorched stone? Scorched stone is liquid scorched stone. Okay. So scorched stone is scorched stone. Hold on, how do you make this? Okay, so I figured it out. If we look at the recipe, it says it needs scorched bricks, but it will actually accept seared bricks, which is just the 4 bricks and sap. So if I grab, what was it, 4, so I need 16 of these and 4 sap. For quick, I'm just going to dump them in there and them in there. That should make our 4 seared bricks. There we go. Now if we try to actually craft it, it doesn't work. But if we manually place these items in the crafting grid, there we go, we have our anvil. Let's place that down. And we can complete our quest, which gets us nothing. Now what this does is it allows us to now make things like hammers, which will automatically mine a 3x3. It takes a lot of material to make these though, which I don't really have. But I'm going to try and make a hammer, just because it will make our mining quite a bit easier. So let's, how many patterns do we have? 5, and we need, what do we need for a hammer? 4 we need, that's great. Let me grab some cobble. Going to need a gold. I'm going to need some of my iron out of here. So, right. What was it again to make the hammer? Hammer head, tough handle, and large plate. So large plate, tough handle, and the hammer head. If we make these out of stone, like we did for the ingot cast, what we can do is smelt the gold. Wrong, we only need 3. Let me sleep as well. Actually, I'm also going to want to make a pick. So I want to finally upgrade this pick. I think we're probably going to need more iron than I've got. Let's give it a go anyway. So we're going to need a large plate. Now these parts are always consumed when, like the brick was, so you might as well just make these out of rubbish stone. And I suppose these used to tell you how many it took to make. Pattern cost 8. So if we want to make the hammerhead out of 8, let's grab a load of copper. Let's work this out. I want to make the main head out of copper. It'll be cheaper to repair because we have a lot of copper. The plates take 4, so that's going to be 8. I'm going to make those out of iron. The tough handle. Let's make that out of copper as well. That's 3. So both these are copper. Let's actually put that in there as well. That's gone into here, isn't it? Here we got our 8 ingots for that. We can put our iron in. It won't mix in here, but that's fine. Nope. Plate. That should give us a pretty decent mining speed. Oh, we're out of fuel. Oh, we've got coal over here actually. Let's just dump some coal in. Think that yeah, that's enough for our first plate. And then we just need that ingot to melt. There we go. And then I think the pick head is 3. Oh, it's only 2 for the pick head. So we might as well smelt that down actually. We can put our iron away. Come over to here and I don't have the plates. We're making a hammer, put a plate in each one. There we go, we have a hammer. That should give us 4 ingots there. I'm just going to dump these in. Swap that over and cast the last couple of ingots out. Might as well take the rest. I'm going to leave the casts in there as I said. Right, so that now means we can put our stone pick in to the anvil and put the iron pickaxe in. And we're going from 130 to 287. And mining speed of 4 to 6. That's pretty damn good. We don't gain any upgrades, but that's not the end of the world. Importantly, one of the upgrades we can make is we get that is 5 blocks of redstone. That's quite a reward, and I get why it's given it. The first one we can do is luck. Now, if we look at luck in here, and we want to click the Hephaestus luck modifier. For luck, we need 4 blocks of lapis and some blue dye. I think we've got enough lapis for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need a piece of blue dye. What we can do is put the pick in the middle, 4 blocks of lapis and a blue dye. And that will give us luck, which is basically fortune. And if we look at this again, yeah, see that one? Luck here is the next level, and that requires 4 more blocks of lapis and a diamond, which we do not have enough lapis for. How short are we? Alright, we're just short. We've got the diamond. So I think what I'm going to do is take a load of this redstone. I'm going to... How many modifiers do we have left? Upgrades 3. So what I'm going to do is going to put that in there. And that's going to give us haste. So if we look at this, our mining speed goes from 6 to 10, which is pretty nice. I'm also going to grab a load of redstone to put on the hammer. That will give us, make that go from 0.6 to 1. Now the hammer's mining speed always sounds terrible, but you've got to remember it mines 9 blocks at a time. So it's usually pretty good. It means I can also trash that pick, and just go to this. So what we're really after is some more lapis. So I've got my hammer and I've got my luck pick. So let's see, as we only need 6 more pieces of lapis to get luck 2. If we can find some more lapis. Now, don't remember off the top of my head, so I just looked it up. Lapis is most commonly found at Y0. So let's go down to Y0 and do some digging. The only problem is I think Y0 is probably going to be... Oh no, we're just going to get out of this cave. So here's Y0. That's nice and quick to mine a 3x3 tunnel. So it shouldn't take us too long to find some lapis. Ah, finally dug out into a cave and there's some lapis. I saw a zombie. And a creeper. I'm not... No. Ooh, did the creeper get washed down? Yes, it did. So with that extra lapis in hand and our diamond, we can put the pick in here. 4 blocks of lapis and a diamond, and that makes us luckier. Now what I actually want to try as well is if we grab an extra diamond, does the pick tell us its mining level? No, but we can... Oh yeah, it does. So that's iron, and that gives us a diamond, but it also boosts our durability from 287 to 862, and a boost to our mining speed, so that's going to be good. Because I found some diamonds which you can't mine in this pack unless you've got diamond, so I'm hoping I can now mine the diamonds. Let me put all these blocks away and we'll go give that a try. So I'm in my mine at minus 16, where I was trying to find some gold. I think this tunnel leads into... Yep, this looks like it. Into this massive cave network. If we run through this water, should be diamonds, yes, which we can mine. We only got 1, even with our luck. Now there was another diamond I remember seeing somewhere. Ah, there it is. That's 1 block. Oh, that only gave us 1. 1 block gives us 1. Oh, do you not get luck on diamonds by mining them with... I mean, 3 diamonds is still 3 diamonds. Oh, I was really hoping to find some more. So I'm back in my base. Those 3 diamond ore we mined only gave us 3 diamond. I don't know if we were just incredibly unlucky that we didn't hit our luck here, or whether they've disabled that for diamonds. But I mean, it's better than no diamond, so I'm going to put those in there. And the first thing I'm going to do with one of those diamonds is put it on a hammer. So that takes our durability from 956 to just over 3,500. We've actually got some emeralds, which I think... we've got... I don't think we've got any modifiers left. Nope, we don't. Oh well. Do we have yeah, we do on a pick. So that'll take it from 862 to 1293. Now I'm not actually going to do that, because I'd like to add the final luck modifier, which is luckiest. I think the last thing I'm going to do for this episode is grab some of our gold. 4 of them. There's our repair kits. Chuck that in there. Why do I keep picking up 4 gold? And grab some. What? Actually, how many is it? 2 per pattern. So if I grab 15. So every 3, that's 5, gives us 4, so that's 20. Yeah, that'll give us 10 repair kits. I just need to cast out those 3 ingots of gold first. Put the repair kit in and just flick the lever. Gold, put it back in our chest. And that will automatically cast us some copper repair kits, which would be great. So with my copper repair kits in hand, my hammer and my luckier pick, I think it's time to end this episode and get to some mining, as building this and these 2 tree farms has really burned through a lot of my resources. So I think I'm going to do some mining, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you found this episode useful.